Hello, my fellow achievers. I really wish that Facebook would allow us to put some music and all that kind of stuff in here, but we're just going to go with some excitement instead because it is Achievers Live Day where we come to you, or I come to you once a week to really give you the tips, the skills, the strategies that you need in order to go from dreamer to achiever in your online business. And this month, we just finished up a launch for the Achiever Circle, which honestly has been my favorite launch by far that I've run in my business. And I can talk all about that and why. So I wanted to come in and really start sharing about launching because I've been seeing that so many times what starts to happen is people have a lot of fears about launching. They have a lot of misconceptions about launching in their business. And I just want to come in and do my part to help break that. Hey there, Eileen. Hey there, Rochelle. Really start to break that for people so that you can see the results that you want. So you don't have to fall into these myths in your business and then find that it's not growing and it's not getting to where you want to be, because that's not helping anyone, right? And if my mission is to really raise up the next level of leaders in the entrepreneur space and have more women that are hitting six figures, completely living their life on their own terms, then we need to get down to some of these strategies that you need to be implementing in order to do that, right? In order to have that for yourself. So we are going to dive right in. If you have any questions about launches, any experience you want to share, I want to encourage you to go ahead and put them right in the comments, even if you're on the replay, totally fine, so that we can chat about this. We can have this open space. This is going to be a 3-part series, with today focusing on really prepping your audience. And then we'll start to go into the actual launch, strategies and basics and like all that kind of stuff, so that you know exactly what you're getting into before your next launch, which is probably one of the biggest things that people don't prepare for their launch in enough time. They just want to go like throw it out there. And without the strategy behind it, you're going to get in for kind of a rude awakening. So we don't want that. Ready to relaunch and get moving again? Awesome, Callie. Are you talking about me? No, Audrey, no. You are getting ready for a launch. If you are a current, author, aspiring author, I want you to go like hover right over Audrey's name and get yourself over to the Right Services, WRITE, see what she did there? It's perfect. Get over there because she has the Author Alliance, and that's about to be opening up soon. And you are going to get like so much freaking value in there. So I just had to share that really quick, because here's the thing, like when it comes to your business, no matter what it is that you're launching, you can absolutely have a successful launch. You can absolutely make your money plus some back of your investment. You can absolutely bring the dream people that you want into your offer, but we got to do some work, right? Like we got to make sure we get down to the nitty gritty. So today I want to dive in with you guys how to successfully prep your audience, because here's the thing, we don't want to launch anything to the wrong people because they're not going to buy, right? They're not the right people. And we also don't want to launch to nobody, because guess what? They're not going to buy because they're not there, right? So we want to make sure that you are prepping yourself ahead of time for this launch to make sure that, hey, I don't have to go through the whole launch roller coaster of feelings when I'm in it. I've already prepped myself for success from the beginning. So this is going to take a lot off of your shoulders. This is something that I did with the Achiever Circle when we just finished up this launch, because I knew the kind of launch I wanted to have. I wanted it to, of course, be profitable, but I wanted to feel ease. So let me know in the comments if you want to have an easy launch. So you want to feel good going into launch time. You want to be able to honor yourself. You want to get sales. You want to have the right people. You essentially want to have it all, and you can. So that is what we are going to talk about today. So 2 things when it comes to prepping your audience is, first, I want you to ask yourself, do you have the right audience for the offer that you want to launch? So You can build audiences lots of ways, right? So there's a ton of ways to build your audience organically. There's a ton of ways to build your audience through paid traffic. There's no right or wrong. I just suggest starting organic first. You can see what converts, and then you could put your money behind it. As far as a paid resource, and we have people looking, Tracy, Eileen, looking for ease. Okay, perfect. So here's the thing. We want to make sure that you have the right people. So let me give you an example of this. We had the Achiever Circle launch. Now it was for a specific type of entrepreneur. So in order to be in the circle, you're making at least 1K a month. And there's, I won't go into all the reasons for, what we were creating there. However, when I looked at my list and I was doing market research and, different things like that ahead of time, I realized that a majority of my list wasn't at the spot. So back in January, when I was looking at my list, a lot of people weren't quite making money yet. And it was because of the opt-in I had running at the time, which went great to a different program, but not for what I was about to launch. So what do I do? And this is the same thing. If you don't have an existing audience, you need to get that audience before you launch. So I had to create a different opt-in that would be specific to those at that point in their business. So your ideal people, what do they need right now? So what is going to solve their problem that you can start to create your opt-in and your content all around that, because you're going to attract those people based on your content. So the first thing I had to do, and I do this with any launch, is I go, one, do I have the people I need for this, right? Because I'm not going to force an offer to the wrong people. So when I looked, I went, okay, actually what I want to create with this offer is different than what I've created in the past. So I need to bring new people in. So my first goal was to test out some different opt-ins that if somebody was brand new to business, they wouldn't even be clicking on because it's just not a good fit for them. So the same thing goes for you. Let's say that you're in the wellness space. If you were specifically targeting, let's say you switched over to bodybuilding or competition or anything like that kind of audience, but you realize that right now you don't have that audience in front of you, then what would that niche need? Because they're not going to need the same thing as the weight loss niche, right? Some people need to lose some of the weight first, develop healthy lifestyles, and then they're going into competition, but it's two different niches. So what does that person need that's coming into your offer? So you're creating that first. So that is your foundational work in order to do that. So that goes whether you need to recreate an audience. I understand your business evolves, and mine has evolved multiple times over. And anytime it does evolve and I go, wait, I need to make sure I have the right people in before I launch this, then I am going on about a 30-day sprint of going out and getting that audience. So that means I am on, let's say, podcasts, or if you do guest blogging, you're only talking about the topics that person, that ideal person for your offer is going to be a good fit for. So I'm making sure that I'm booking myself out far in advance and only talking about those topics. So I wasn't talking about any kind of, let's say, just getting started in business topics during that time. I was talking specifically about list building and passive income and things that are for the next level. And that was because I was pre-prepping it. So the same thing for you. How can you pre-prep to bring the right audience in? The next thing, being aware, is the fact that if you don't have an audience right now, you can't launch to nobody. Okay. And a lot of people do this where they go, okay, I'm going to launch this program or course or membership, or I don't, whatever the case is. I want to launch something, but I don't have anyone at all to sell it to. Or they have a small number of people and they don't realize the percentage. So out of your list, if you're getting a 1 to 3% conversion, awesome, right? You're doing well. And some people don't realize that it does come down to these percentages. So if you don't have enough people to meet your launch goal as it is, then you need to fill up with more people, right? There's a problem with the traffic side of your business. So you need to bring more people in before you even launch. So what are you doing to bump that up? So the month before we launched for the Achiever Circle, I had to go spend more money on ads, because I just chose to do it through ads, and that's because that's where my business is right now. I knew I needed to increase my budget so I could increase the people coming in, just because I didn't have as many in that audience as I wanted. So I had to do that work on the front end before I launched it, or else it wasn't going to work out. Very helpful, create an opt-in for the target audience. Yes, so that means that maybe there's an opt-in you really love, but it's not working so well. So for that offer, I should say. So for example, the 20-minute sprint opt-in that I have, it worked for me for like a year. Like it's a very low converting, a great opt-in for me in my business, and I still have it. However, when I saw the people coming in where they were in their business, I realized, okay, I need a different opt-in before I go launch the Achiever Circle, just because it's not bringing in the people for that offer, it's bringing in people for a different offer. So having that strategy really does make a difference. So when I do intensives with people based on specifically their launch strategy, I tell them, like, make sure you book that intensive like at least 30 days before we even start, because you need time, right, to make sure you even have that audience on hand. Audrey, I actually put a little money down to advertise your new masterclass being released today. Awesome. Just like publishing a book and then expecting it to magically sell itself. Yes. So it's not create it and they will come. And to be honest, any offer that I put out there, the very first run, I don't create anything. I sell it first and I create as I go. And this is something I know a few of you on here are in the Achiever Circle. That's actually going to be our strategy call for July, is I'm going to show you how to like pre-sell everything before you ever even create it, for a reason, right? Because we're about saving time. But when it comes to your launch, you want to really make sure that you're doing this front end work. So number one, you're either bringing in a new audience because your current audience may not be a good fit for this offer. So you're being real about the numbers and doing what you need to do ahead of time to bring in the right people. Or two, you are creating your audience from scratch because you don't have the audience yet to be able to launch to. So you're taking time to get visible first. You're taking time to create your opt-ins and putting it out there into the world so that you are being realistic before you go into launch that, hey, I have people to actually sell this to. So that is the first thing I want you to really think about, is that front end work of the launch. So are you going to get your people, fill your funnel with people before you even launch, so that you're not trying to add people in, and then at the same time as adding them in, you're trying to sell as well. Like you haven't had any time to nurture, they haven't seen any of your content, nothing. So make sure you did the traffic part and the visibility part of your business, so there's people coming in first. The second thing that you want to do is, okay, so we have these people. All right, we've got people. Yay! Like awesome. We want to get ready to like go ahead and launch. Survey your audience. Make sure your offer really does solve the problem that these people have. Okay, so some of you guys are probably watching me do market research right now. And it's because you're going to continuously do this in your business for different things. So I have a special offer that I am putting together right now. It's a one-on-one experience. It is not something, I haven't done one-on-one since earlier this year in this capacity. And I feel really strong about doing this with the right people. But before I even like approach it, I want to make sure it's the right fit for the right people. So what do? Yes, the people are there. I have a list. I have the Facebook group, like all this thing. I went out and I said, hey, can you tell me what you could use the most help with right now in this area and why you chose that? So super simple, but I don't want to create something that nobody wants. And a lot of times that's what's happening, because you're creating what you wish you had. You're creating what maybe like someone random said that they may need, but you haven't heard from the actual people who will buy from you. So not only bring in the audience, but then make sure before you even try to create something for this launch, before you make whether it's a sales page or anything like that, that you are hearing from them firsthand. So you can do this through Google Forms, you could do this through Typeform. Those are all, they're free resources. And all you have to do is set up a little survey, and it could be as simple as, if you need something a little more generic, so not specific topics, but you could say, what are you struggling with right now currently? What do you feel would be the solution? Because people will only pay for what they believe is the solution. And any other qualifiers that you need to know to best review this. And then you're going to go through all of the answers. Right now, I'm currently going through close to 90 responses of feedback from this week of market research that I did, and hearing directly from my tribe where they're struggling. Because here's the thing, these things are my expertise, which means that I'm also not going to see them in the same light that my audience is seeing it. So I want to hear from them. Like, where are you struggling? Where is the gap in this area for you? And then I can look and say, all right, let me create this experience that people can work through one-on-one. It's going to be like a summer session of working together. And if that's something you want to learn more about, just like get in my inbox. That's the easiest way, because it's going to be private invite at this time. But I am putting that together for a reason, right? Like, I'm doing the market research first. So are you asking your people what they want to make sure? Do you think it's better open-ended or to give a few choices? So Eileen, that's a great question. So it depends on what you're looking for. So if your audience is new, or you're just kind of feeling the water, so you're not quite sure what you're offering yet. So maybe you want to go into launching an offer, but you're not sure what the best offer should be for your current audience, then I would leave it open. So I would have the questions as far as, where are you at right now in this process? What is your biggest struggle? What do you feel the solution is? Anything else you want to add? And that will just give you like a nice blanket idea from your tribe, because you can go through and start seeing where the commonalities are. And that's originally what happened to me in my business earlier. I was just asking in general, where are you struggling? And then I started highlighting what I could help them with. So if somebody was struggling with, say, like SEO or something like that, I went, okay, like I'm not the best fit for that, but I'm getting like this range of answers, and then the common ones that are my strengths I could pull from. Now at this point, I did it a little differently. So this is where strategy is custom, right, to each person's business. So at this point, the survey that I put out this time gave people 3 different choices, and there's a very strategic reason, and that's because I know the kind of offer that I want to put out, and it's around those 3 topics, but I want to know which one they're connecting with more before I even put it out to anyone privately. So that gives me more of a range. I actually didn't want a bunch of like different answers. I wanted them specifically for that, because I already have like the offer in my head, but I want to refine it based on their feedback. So you get to do the same thing. So if you already know kind of where you're heading, then you can give them options based on that and then get that feedback. If you're not sure and you're kind of open to different ideas, then you leave a more blanket and let them answer that way. So who has done market research with your audience? Feel free to put in the chat. I don't think you should ever be launching anything in your business if you have not heard from your audience, because why would you put all that work in without knowing if that's something that they're even looking for, if it's something that they want, if they're willing to pay for it, if they feel that's the solution. Audrey, perfect. Callie, awesome. And this is the thing, like, you have to know that. And to be honest, even as you go through the launch period, obviously you have a sales page, you have, there's a lot of other pieces that we're going to go over. But when it comes to that, guess how much easier it is for the sales page? You know how many people tell me, oh my God, you're in my head? You know why I'm always in your head? Because I'm always doing market research. So I'm always hearing exactly, I have the documents on my desktop from this week. I'm hearing people's words, and that's what I'm using, right? Because I don't want to rely on me, because my experience in business is different at this point than my ideal clients. So I want to hear directly from them. I did it extensively before launching the membership. Audrey, and I think that has a lot to say for the people that are in that membership, right? So the reason why they love it so much, they're connected, is because you created it with them in mind. So it was very specific. And I did the same thing, like going into the circle, I'm like, no, I need to, 1, bring in the people that I wanted for the circle. Because like I said, sometimes you don't have the audience for what you want yet. So I had to bring them in too. It doesn't matter what level you're at in your business. You have to be real about where you are currently. So I had to bring them in. And then I got on the phone, I did market research. Like, I wanted to hear all about what they were doing. And luckily I was also working with dream clients throughout the same process. And I was able to take what they were struggling with. So that went into the membership site too, because they are the perfect people for the membership. So I was able to get all of that feedback and then go, okay, based on all this information, now let me create something that's irresistible for my audience, as opposed to relying on me to come up with it and really struggling with getting the value out there because it's not what they were looking for. It's not what they feel the solution is. Yes, my strongest members were deeply involved with my research and working with me or asking to. Yes, Audrey. See, so that's really a key piece that I want you guys to remember about launching, because even though I know you guys are seeing all these numbers out there, right? Like, I'm very aware of all the launch stats. And to be honest, I kind of struggle with sharing my own a lot of times, just because I don't want anyone to like compare without seeing the background, if that makes sense. So like, people will go out there and say, yeah, like I've had like $100,000 launch or a $20,000 launch or a 5,000, like whatever arbitrary number that's out there, they'll say it, but you can't really compare without knowing, do they have a team in place? Did they have a bigger list? Did they like fill their list for a year because they only launch once a year, right? Like, everyone's so different. But what you can do is you can do your part in setting up the systems and the structures and the strategies that you need in order to go into your own launch period. So making sure that you have the same core pieces that any launch has, any successful launch, I should say, you're going to have those same core pieces. And then the income that you're making from that is really just a result of a numbers game. So it's just, okay, like, now that I know what the average percent is of a launch, I've filled my list with this many people, or I did a challenge or a webinar with this many people, and these are what my conversion rates are. So it makes it a lot easier to go through a launch knowing what to expect, but it is this beginning work that actually makes the difference. And that's usually where everyone skips. And I can kind of relate this to business too, in the fact of, if you're making money in your business, you probably already know that some of the key pieces is doing the groundwork. So identifying your ideal client, refining your offers, like those things, if those are off, like you're not very clear on your ideal client or your strengths, then you're most likely not making money at this point. So it's because you have to do the foundations first, even though people like to skip that and they just want to like go do anything that sounds more fun than doing like the root work. The same thing for a launch. So we want to do this pre-validation and prep your audience before you even go into that launch period. And the other thing with that is, now that you know, okay, do I need to bring in a new audience? And if you don't, if you already have your people, great, like you're done that step. So then the next one is, did you survey that audience? Did you do the market research to make sure that you're offering the solution that they feel is the solution? Because they're not going to pay for what you feel is the solution. I can tell people all day, every day, that, okay, like you need to focus, on this and XYZ. That's not what they're going to pay for. That's just what I teach them to do with the paid offers. So you need to make sure you're aligning it with what they want. And then the third step is to now focus all of your content creation for the next 30 or 60 days. It just depends on, how long you want to do this, all around your people and what they said they need. So now that you did the market research, you know exactly what content to create. It's very easy to create your content because you know where they're struggling, you know what the offer is, you made sure it's aligned with them, and now you do a push on your content to see what people are responding to and what they're not responding to, because what they're not responding to, you know to cut, right? So this gives you a chance to see where the traction is before you start selling. If you are doing Facebook ads or anything like that, then you have videos to retarget, right, your audience. There's a lot of different things you can do with that. Callie, what would be a good way to set up an opt-in if you do not have a working website, something your audience could download and you can capture that email? Perfect. And it's funny because you're about to see this in a few weeks. I just got off. I'm launching something brand new with my biz bestie, and we haven't talked about it yet, but we're not making a website for we just don't need one right now. But we do want something to collect emails. So I'll tell you exactly what we're doing. So we bought or we're buying the domain is literally going to redirect to one of our lead pages. So we have a lead pages account. That's going to be the opt-in page. When they sign up, there they go. They can go get it. So all you have to do is, like, if you have your domain already, get that, and then you can redirect it, redirect the domain to whatever the landing page is. So you need something for a landing page. If you're using like ConvertKit, they have their own, like, you don't have to buy like an outside source. I just already use lead pages, but if you're using ConvertKit, just, they have a form. MailChimp has forms. Like, I think every email service provider has their own like forms, and then all you're doing is just redirecting that site there. So you have that option for sure. And then later, what you can do is, as you're building your website and, you know, different things like that, then you're just going to redirect differently, right? So then you'll just have a different link for your opt-in instead. So you're going to go ahead and do it that way. Wix landing page works. Yeah, like totally. I would do that for right now. Just work with what you have. I don't believe in, like, you know, adding all these tools and stuff like that at the very beginning. Like, just get yourself out there, and then you can always change things up. So if you already have that, I know there's issues with Wix as far as like SEO, and like that's a whole different thing, but I would say if that's what you have right now getting started, absolutely use that for the landing page, and then just link it to whatever your email service provider is, and you will be good to go. You will have that set. And then again, this is bringing that audience in. So now your goal is, okay, before I actually launch, because the cart only has to be open for, you know, a week or 2 weeks. Most people aren't using like a long cart open. So what you get to do now is just specifically creating content to bring your people in before the cart opens. So you are either doing live video or blogging, like whatever your content strength is, it's all specific to what they're going to get in your offer. So you are talking about things that are a breakdown of that offer essentially, and you're seeing what people are connecting with. So they said they want this, let me make sure they're also connecting with it, right? And that gives you a chance, if you're running, like I said, ads or anything like that, you can also pixel, you know, everyone that's hitting those blogs or the videos and all that kind of stuff. Like, I can pixel all of you right now. Actually, you are being pixeled, but like, because you're watching this video. So it's like, okay, like they're interested in launching, and I'm not launching anything about launching. I only do that in intensives. But if I was, this would be me creating content to lead up to that. So you have that same option as well. Let's see. Nope, we just busted the SEO myth in the Achievers group. Oh, Audrey, I'm going to check that out. Callie, I could create it, but would you recommend ConvertKit instead? Oh, Audrey, see? This is why I freaking love the Achiever Circle. I'm like obsessed with these ladies. It's the best word I can use, because like I'm learning in there too. Like, we have different people with different specialties. So I'm excited to learn about Wix. Like, because hey, like if that's what you have, like that's what you have, totally use it. And I love that they are coming up on SEO, because that was always something that I thought was an issue, and apparently it's not anymore. So I love it. Would you recommend ConvertKit instead? For email service provider, I am obsessive about ConvertKit. I love it. As far as their actual landing pages, it works. It's just not like, doesn't leave a lot to be desired. Like, I like a little more pretty. That's just my personal opinion. But I know other people that totally just use the landing page and ConvertKit, and it's fine. So don't let that stop at all. They've been working hard to compete. Awesome. So they're working on getting, I know Squarespace has been really upping their offers too as well. So, and that's the beauty of online business. Like, it's always changing, right? So are you willing to go through that process as well? So what I would love to hear is what you are launching and what your time period is. So if you put in the chat, like, what is your upcoming launch? So what is it you're looking to do? Is it a one-on-one? Is it a group program? Is it a course? Is it a membership site, right? There's so many different things we can be launching. And then right after that is, when are you looking to launch it? So are you launching it in July? Are you launching it in September, right? Like, there's no, you don't have to be launching something right away, right? In fact, if you have more time, the better. That just gives you another chance to create more content and get the right people. It gives you some time there. So you get to play around with that for sure for yourself. So what are you looking to launch, and are you prepping your audience for it? So are you doing the work that we just talked about in order to get your audience prepared for when that cart opens. So when they do come in, are you ready? And we'll go in next week when we'll talk about actual, launch specifics as far as, what you do to actually get them to the cart open. So how you lead up to that. But the first way to lead up to it is you have to be doing that front end work. So you have to make sure you have the people first. Then you have to make sure you are giving them what they actually want before you go ahead and create a full-blown launch. Like, why do all that planning and everything if they don't even want it or they're not there? And then the third part of that is now you're starting to test out the content. So now you're starting to get the content out there into the world so that you can see what's gaining traction, what's not. You're either doing some guest posting, podcasting, doing like Facebook group takeovers or Instagram takeovers or whatever you want to do to get in front of new audience people. They're coming into your new opt-in, right? So you're starting to build this list knowing that you're about to go into launch. So great, I'm going to have people that have specifically said, hey, I'm interested in this. So we had our opt-in set that were going out. One was like 3 ways to create passive income in 3 days or something like that. And then we had another one, Beyond One-on-One, and we had a funnel, the ultimate funnel for coaches. And everyone that was coming into those was getting prepared on our launch list because they were the people, those topics would attract the right people. So we were preparing for that. So what are you doing to prepare as well? Audrey, my conversion rates went up when I started using ConvertKit landing pages. See, awesome. Like, and that's where it's all testing. And sometimes I think people, and this goes for launching too, they want one set way, and you're going to see throughout this series, I'm going to cover different ways that you can launch in your business because every business is different and every goal is different. And what your audience is different too. So you get to test different things and see what's working best for you. I just came off the easiest launch I've ever freaking done in my business. And it just makes me like, that's how I'm launching from now on. But it's been testing and trying and, doing different things to see what was a good fit. So you get to do the same thing as well. And my job is to come out here and share not only my experience, but like experience that my clients are having and, different pieces of this entire journey so that you can pull what's best for you. Because obviously I can't work with everyone like one-on-one on live video, like that's more of an intensive thing that I do. But at the same time, like I can still give you the information and teach you how to do this for yourself, right? How to empower yourself for your launch and have the different aspects of it so that you can choose what's the best fit for you. Audrey doing a challenge with a final webinar June 26th through 30th to drive new membership. I'll do something new every month until I hit 200 members. And I love that you have the membership goal too, because you know where you're heading, right? So you know exactly what you're doing. Going into the 5-day, at the 5-day, you start pitching right into the membership site. And so again, like what's the focus right now? The focus, and I know we've even talked about this, like the focus right now is the traffic on the front end. So we need to get people in before that 5-day challenge runs. We need to get people used to, and you're already putting out awesome content for authors. So that's perfect, right? So now it's, okay, we need more eyes on that content. And then we're going to bring them in, right, from the opt-in over to your list. And then it's like, hey, we have a 5-day challenge coming up. And that's how you start to go into your launch. So you totally have that option as well. Audrey, love your goal. I'm right there with you. Awesome, Callie. See, and this is the beauty, is the fact that one, you're not doing any of this by yourself, right? We're all having, launches and offers and different things in our business, but it's about how you really go into that. If you're going in with your goal set, with a plan of action, and then you're ready to implement it during the actual launch period, which of course we're going to dive into. That's why it's a 3-part series, because otherwise I'd be on here forever trying to go through everything with launches and the different ideas. So what I need help with in order to help serve you is in the comments, and of course I know people will be catching the replay and things like that, to let me know what you could use help with in launching. So I did survey my list, and I've been pulling from there to help make this series for you guys. But whatever else that kind of comes up that has you thinking about launching, then feel free to put in the comments, and then that'll help us, because we'll be live each Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. That's when Achievers Live is. And of course, the replays are up here as well on my business page. So you can just put that, and we'll go through the next few weeks really covering those topics for you. Becky and I got together and worked our butts off in person to work on the things you directed for me. Awesome. I hate to open on my phone. Yeah, like I'm the same way with my phone, Audrey. I totally understand. Yes, and that's the thing. It's laying out this plan. So what I want you to do for this next week for yourself, if you are looking to go into launch anywhere within the next, 1 to 3 months, I want you to start thinking about this now, because I want to prep you to have a successful launch. Like, nobody wants to have a failed launch. I've had a failed launch. Like, it's not fun. So let's not do that, okay? So it is the prep work that we're doing right now. So 1, identify where your people are. If you need to bring in new people, if not, great. You're already done step 1. So you're good. Step 2, actually talk to them. So do the market research, see what they're really struggling with. Make sure you side by side that with what you're about to launch to make sure it's actually filling the gaps of their needs. And like I said, it's going to help your sales pages. This is going to help the copy of your email, because we're going to talk in email. Be ready to send a lot of emails during a launch. Like, get over it. It's part of it. Like, you have to talk about your offer. You have to get on video, and you have to well, you don't have to scream it from the rooftops. That's just my personality, but you have to be able to speak about your offer even when it's uncomfortable. So going into that, but we have to have people to actually share that with, right? And it has to be the right offer. So make sure you're doing that market research so that you can use their own words, right? So that you can tailor everything to what you're seeing. You're going to hear their objections in that market research. You're going to have everything you need. And of course, if you're either in Connect and Convert, so my list building course, or if you're in Achiever Circle, you have access to Connect and Convert. Get to I think it's module 4. I do a whole training on market research. Go into that. that I know it's within that course. So that is totally going to help you with doing that piece. So make sure you do that for yourself, because you are just going to make your job easier. Please make what you do easier. My word of the year is easy for a reason. So this is going to help you. And then the third piece is now go on a value add content sprint. So go out there, and this doesn't mean you have to do it every freaking day. Don't overwhelm yourself with to-dos, but are you doing 1 live video a week or 1 blog a week, right? Whatever your style is, there's no right or wrong to that. Are you putting yourself out there? Are you getting out there, if you need to be building your audience, to other people so that people are consuming your content, and whether you're retargeting them on that content or you're leading them, right to your opt-in, of course. So they're getting on your list, and you're starting to prepare your launch list. So you know exactly who is going to be prepared for what we're going to go over the next few weeks. Now, if you want to make sure that you do not miss anything that we are going to be covering over the next few weeks for launches, here is what I want you to do. So you're going to see above this video, or below if you're on YouTube, you are going to see above this video on Facebook, it says exclusive access to free goodies. Go ahead and click that link, and what it's going to do is it's going to alert you when we go live next week, because guess what? We are all busy. You're totally going to forget about me in a few days, because that is life. You're going to forget we were doing this series. So if you click there, not only will you get alerted next week when we go live, it does go right to your messenger on Facebook. And I promise not to freaking spam you there, because I know that is a safe space. And I also know I don't want a bunch of stuff in my messenger. But what I will do is a message will go out next week right before we go live, just so you don't miss us. So just so that you know exactly what is coming your way. And you will also get access to a freebie in there too. So that's just exclusive for those who want to get updates. You can get access to a bonus freebie that'll help you where to focus your time in your business through each stage of your business. So if you go to thedaydreamachiever.com/exclusive, because you get to be in our exclusive update club, you can just click right above that video. That'll give you access to that. And there's just some fun things going on back there that I won't tell you about, but you'll find out when you sign up. And that will make it so that you're able to go through this whole series with us and not miss anything, because we all know that life gets busy. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I hope this was helpful for you in order to get the successful launch that you are looking for, to do it with both ease and bringing cash into your business, because yes, you can have both, but it is a choice, right? So we want to make sure that we put together all of the pieces, and I believe in stacking things up, so I don't want to throw everything at you at once, but stacking things on top of each other in order to really get you to where you want to be in your business. So the first part is the foundational work, right? It's what you're doing right now that's going to impact if the emails you're sending or whatever else we're talking about down the road, if you're doing 5-day challenges or webinars, if you want any of that stuff to be successful, you got to do what we talked about this week, okay? So I'm going to encourage you guys to do the work. I know this is free content. I know the percentage of people who will take action is going to be small because of that. However, I still am going to show up and give you the information and leave it up to you to go and apply it, okay? So I hope that you do, because that is how you truly go from dreamer to achiever in your online business. It's through the actions that you're taking, and not just any action, focused action according to your goals. Let's see, get me where I need / want to be so I can work with you, lady. Yes, Callie, like, we are meant to work together. Like, I already know it. Like, we are going to be working together. I have no doubt. It's just a matter of when it's going to be, right? So we are going to get all these stars aligned. You apply this stuff right now. And then I promise you, once we are working together, we are going to totally put that onto hyperspeed, super drive, whatever cool word we want to use. So apply this stuff to get your results now, and then we'll just continue to go ahead and scale that up. So I'm super looking forward to that, and really seeing all of you guys getting your results, right? Because the truth is, I am not the only person that can achieve results in my business. Trust me, I'm surrounded by a ton of people who are achieving amazing things. And all it does is show that it's possible for any freaking person. Doesn't matter your story, your background, anything. And a lot of that is about to come out just because we have a new thing that I'm going into with my biz bestie. So if you like podcasts, there may be another one on the way. Totally just kind of spilled it. That is going into all of the pieces in one place, your mindset, your strategy, all that good stuff. Because the truth is, anyone can freaking succeed in the online business. But you have to be willing to own it. You have to be willing to get out there in the world with it. And you have to be willing to do the right work in order to do it. So getting really focused. And if I can help you to do that, then I am doing exactly what I am here to do. I love the Achiever Circle. Audrey, I love you. I love the freaking ladies in that circle. And I believe I even put the link up there. Yes, if you guys want to get on the wait list for the Achiever Circle, oh, sweet baby Jesus, get on there. Like, I am telling you, this is like nothing I've ever freaking done in my business. I almost hate when people say that, because I always feel like they say it all the time, but it's the truth. So go up there, get yourself on the wait list. It's not opening again until July. And when it does, I will let you know. You can jump in there with us. It is definitely a community for purpose-driven entrepreneurs that are looking to scale their business from 4-figure months to 6-figure years. And it is just an incredible, incredible community. And that is pretty much where I'm going to be spending a majority of my time throughout the rest of 2017 and beyond, because we're keeping this thing running, because it is absolutely in alignment with what I am looking to bring to the world and how I want to serve and help other women to serve their people. So feel free to jump on the wait list if that's something you want to learn more about. Obviously, you're not committed to anything at this point, but in July, I'll send you information about it. You can see if it's the right fit and go from there. So you guys get to work, get in this prep stage for your launch so that you are ready to go ahead and bring it to the world in a way that absolutely converts for you with the right people. And we'll be back here next week at 1 p.m. Eastern. And again, if you want the alerts, just go to thedaydreamachiever.com/exclusive, and we'll alert you right before we go live so you can jump on and learn, and we'll go into the next phase of actually going into the launch strategy. So what do we do you to get this cart open and people actually buying from you, right? So you've done the prep work. Now we're going to go to the next step. So you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Hubby is coming home from Vegas tomorrow, so I will be unplugged for the next few days. Totally excited because I miss him. So you have a good week. I will talk to you later. Bye.